before I formulated the Art of Construction Master Facilitators, I had great mentors that meant that my father-in-law, who ironically sitting here, he originally built this house in the early 80s. And I came in and refabbed this house because I love crowds and have as much fun as possible. And my family would definitely, so I convinced the family and it was a great deal. And that's rewarding for me to be sitting here in this place doing this, because where I'm sitting was the patio of the old cabin when I came into the family. So I came into the family, and I tell you that story is because he said, Devon, you're really into windows and doors, and not the windows of tech people windows.
Yeah.
No, like windows that you see through, right? And we get very jaded on what we're talking about. He's like, if you're really going to do this, let's two things. I want to help you buy a building that you can grow from within, because it's going to show you credibility in the market. And number two, you have to formulate an advisory council. And I said, what's an advisory council? He said, go figure it out and come back to me with a business plan, because he was a college professor and a business coach. And he formulated this tool called How to Live a Full Life Perspective, which is our whole stack we're building of how to live a field life perspective of connecting the field to the office is my big, hairy, audacious goal with the Art of Construction Master Facilitators. And I tell you that story is because I didn't know, so I went to who I did know. And at the time, it was Andersen Windows. And I said, I'm your representative. My father-in-law wants to go big with me. I just bought a little company down in Centennial, Colorado. We had 2 offices. I worked for him for 3 years, bought him out. And the day I bought him out, I figured, how do I scale this thing? And there's this building I called, and I just started calling. And they're a big corporate company, and there's always the David and Goliath conversation every time you have these conversations. And I called my rep, and they're like, I don't know what you're doing. So I said, screw it. I went around and I started calling corporate. Nobody knew who I was. And I just, because my golden nugget was my father-in-law to invest in this building with me, which is Nathan, where we recorded our podcast. And I said, advisor council. And I finally figured it out. It's just, it's defined as, my Google is a group of people that know, like, and trust in each other, that don't have a competition view.
Yeah.
That group is now, I just hit 6 years of running the Window Dealer Owner Council after being on Andersen's advisory council for 10 years. Because the guy who actually run the company, they had this dealer meetup. I walk in and I had this special invitation, and I got to go to the side, and I had just been calling, and his name was Salabate, one of the members. I had him on the podcast. And he left it as a secret, because he knew I had the eye of the tiger and I refused to lose. And I walk into this meeting, and there's 10 of us. And there was little Devon Tilly, who didn't have a clue what he was doing. He was just listening from his mentor, his father-in-law, Greg Gebbin. And we went into this back room, and Sal's like, to take this business to the next level, I'm creating an advisory council. And he looked right at me. And I became his reverse mentor. And it was all these big lumber yards and these huge legacy companies, but they had been removed from working in the business. They only knew how to work on the business, and it's putting those two together. And it was such an honor to do that. But after 8 years of that, new brass came in, Sal left, new people, turning of the guard, the corporate way. And I was like, what the perfect opportunity to start my own.
Yep.
So I just hit 6 years of owning that. So there's 7 of us owners. Collectively, we have 24 locations throughout the whole U.S., and another mentor said, Devon, you got to know how to manage your data, but you got to get to a data set that's large enough to do that. And that's what we're all trying to figure out right now. So that story hopefully is valuable to the ConTech crew, is that you got to be able to put the business and the technology together to a group of lifelong learners who have each other's back, that ride or die together, like we're going to do on the mountain today.